There are twice as many of you watching my videos now, and it's made me terrified to make new content. 3 months ago, I collaborated with Buzzfeed to create a video about a real psychologist reacting to mental illness in movies. As that video started to take off and got millions and millions of people watching it, this channel started to take off and my subscriber numbers took off. It completely doubled in size. And that has paralyzed me. I've talked before about how I grew up with social anxiety and how I've overcome that in many areas of my life. Where I still experience it is when people are judging me in professional context, when I'm in a room surrounded by other psychologists, or I'm speaking to a bunch of parents, or I'm doing an assembly at a school, or here when I'm making videos and sharing them with the world. When I get anxious like this, I really worry about doing things right, getting them as perfect as I can. And I usually end up dealing with that by not dealing with it. It's not a new problem. It happened for me in grad school when I was working on my dissertation. And I would do this thing where I would get really anxious and worried about working on my research. I would not do it, and then I'd tell myself, don't worry, Ali, you're just gonna wake up early on Saturday, you're gonna wake up at like 6 a.m., you're gonna spend 12 hours working on this project, you'll completely catch up, and it'll be amazing. It's this thing that is called all or none thinking. It's a thinking trap, a cognitive distortion, and I didn't realize that I did this, that I would build things up to have to be a certain way. And then if they weren't that way, which was always the case, because I never woke up on Saturday, and then I would wake up late on Saturday and feel crappy about myself and say, okay, it's worthless. I'm not going to make any progress. Might as well not do it. And then I would avoid it. That's kind of what's been happening for me with the PSYCH Show. What I feel like are expectations going up, more people watching me, more eyes on this channel, more emails coming through. I've coped by not making content. It's gotten really bright, so I gotta change. There we go. There we go. That's a lot better. Last week, I have dinner with my friend Bill Wadman. He's this amazing photographer. He made this one of me kind of as a parody of all those Subway doctors. He called it Subway Shrink. And I'm talking to Bill about this frustration I have. And then he asked me, well, you're an anxiety expert. This sounds like anxiety. What would you tell your patient if they were experiencing the exact same problem? It's actually a really good question. I don't know why I didn't think to ask myself this question. This is why we're biased and why I can help other people and sometimes I can't quite help myself. So I tell my patients it sounds like you have this fear of failure, and what we need to do is help you to get some real-world experience with what happens when you create something that doesn't seem perfect, that falls short of your expectations. When I was in grad school, I worked with a dissertation coach, Alison Miller. She's amazing. She's awesome. She kind of changed my life in some ways. And she helped me to think about this and to say, don't make a rough draft, make a crappy draft. Let's lower down the expectations you have, because your expectations are perfection, and that's no way to try to write. And what Bill and I were talking about was the same thing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to practice making content that isn't perfect. For the next 2 weeks, I'm going to make one video every day. On the weekdays. The weekends I'm going to take off. I'm not going to write out a fancy script. I'm not going to exhaustively research every topic. I'm just going to make a thing and then share it with you. Gotta change the video settings because the sun, and this is case in point. I guess like this video is not going to be perfect and you're going to see me like editing this stuff and the lighting's not perfect, but whatever. Have you ever dealt with perfectionism or all or none thinking or this fear of failure? And if so, how have you dealt with it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this that is celebrating mental health, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And also, I want to thank my brand new patrons. There's a lot of them. So I want to thank Ty T, Steve M, Ann Claire, Brian T, Nikki C, Samuel A. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much for becoming patrons of this channel. And if you want to help me make videos like this, check out my Patreon, where you can get more behind the scenes stuff and learn more about how I make all this stuff.